I'm not gonna say the line. It's been beat to death. But let's find out if Insomniac, a great developer, fulfilled their responsibility of delivering a top-notch Spider-Man game worthy of our time in our Busy Gamer review of Spider-Man. Welcome back to No Time Gamer. If you're new here, hit subscribe to get reviews and content for busy gamers that help make your gaming sessions be time well spent. In Spider-Man, Peter Parker has been the webbed hero for a few years and has become a fully realized version of the wall crawler. Even though Spider-Man has helped make the streets of New York a safer place, Peter Parker still struggles to find himself a stable job or relationship. This duality of Parker and Spider-Man fuels the emotional beats of the story, while a power vacuum created by the arrest of the Kingpin drives the overarching plot. This all makes for a solid but uneven campaign that I'll go over in more detail later. First, I want to talk about the most important aspect of the game, being Spider-Man. Insomniac fully captured the feel and thrill of being Spider-Man, particularly with the web slinging and combat. Swinging through the city is smooth and joyful. It's terrific fun to zoom between buildings, run up walls, spring off rooftops, and skim along the tops of cars and streets. They've also created a living and breathing recreation of New York City, and getting around as Spider-Man is an effortless joy. You'll hardly use the available fast travel option, especially once more traversal skills are unlocked. Getting around this great sprawling metropolis isn't the only way the developers have nailed the Spider-Man feel. Besides web slinging, the core gameplay consists of two forms of combat. The first is a rhythm style of combat where Spider-Man squares off against a large number of enemies. You'll smash the attack button, dodge cheap shots and gunfire, and counter enemy attacks. Of course, some Spidey-specific elements are thrown in. Spider-Man can throw objects with his web, swing into enemies, yank guns out of their hands, and much more. It's a fun combat system that fits a Spider-Man game. It's easy to learn and grows with complexity as skills unlock and enemy variety increases. The other combat system is stealth-based, where Spider-Man takes out enemies without detection. Spidey remains hidden while snatching bad guys with his webs and gadgets. It's a great way to thin down the enemy numbers before facing the rest head-on. It's all a blast and lets you live the Spider fantasy. Of course, there is more than fighting and web-slinging to do. Spider-Man has a slew of odds and ends to complete that range from brainless collectathons to tedious search jobs to combat-intense mini-missions. Stopping crimes and clearing hideouts feels like a natural part of the game, but chasing pigeons and performing environmental research jobs end up feeling like useless busy work. The only reason you'll go back to some of these tasks is to get the tokens needed to unlock new costumes and gadgets. Luckily, the selection of costumes and gadgets is great. The costumes cover a full range of fan service from comic book throwbacks to movie-accurate recreations. Even better, most of the suits come with unique power-ups that enhance or add to Spider-Man's skills. Others are just for fun, but well worth a look. Along with costumes, the Spidey gadgets like web bombs, electric webs, spider drones, and more round out the tools Spider-Man has at his disposal. Sadly, the gadget upgrades also require various tokens to access them. It's a grindy unlock system that forces you to complete mundane tasks to unlock the costumes and upgrades you want. Finally, we come back to the story. I can't discuss my issues with the plot and campaign without some spoilers. Nothing game ruining, but if you want to avoid them all, skip to the time on screen to get our final thoughts. The story itself is solid and the performances by all the major characters are top notch. My issue is the lack of well-known villains for the first 2/3 of the game. Wilson Fisk, the Shocker, and the main villain, Mr. Negative, dominate the first 2/3 of the game, with only hints of possible threats from other rogues in the Spider-Man pantheon. Technically, Doc Ock is in the early game, but let's just say it takes too long to get to the obvious. It isn't until the last third of the game that it throws more villains at you with amazing results. Spider-Man has one of the best rogues galleries, so I wish the developers would have tapped into that earlier. The other issue I have with the campaign are the non-Spider-Man missions and their mechanics. When you play as Spider-Man, everything clicks. The action is great, the fighting is fun, and the cutscenes with QuickTime events are thrilling. But missions where you play as Peter, MJ, or another character are dull. These missions usually involve a slow hunt through an office or building, and the Mary Jane missions are stealth missions that are frustrating and unnecessary. Neither are enjoyable, and the story elements in these missions could have been covered with cutscenes. They kill the pacing of an otherwise enjoyable campaign and continue to do so to the very end of the game. As a note for the family-minded Spider fan, the game has some mild language and intense violence. There's not much blood, but people die or get seriously hurt. Younger gamers are always drawn to Spider-Man, so use your best judgment on how much they should see or play of the game. Older and experienced gamers will love it. Finally, there are multiple difficulty options that match the intensity to any busy gamer's preference. Even with all the campaign pacing issues and the boring to-do list littered throughout the map, the pure joy and thrill of stepping into Spidey's shoes can't be dampened. Controlling the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man has never felt better, and this digital recreation of New York City is bursting with life. Hopefully the developers will address some of the issues in their next Spider-Man game. Until then, for busy gamers, Spider-Man on the PS4 is time mostly well spent. What are your thoughts on Spider-Man? Who's your favorite Spidey rogue? Let us know in the comments below. Since you're here, why not check out this review to see what other game could be time well spent?